it's over, let it go. 52 times a year, the week is done and over with before you know.
Thank you very much indeed. Hello, good evening and welcome. I am David Frost and That Was the Week That Was. Finally, after 60 years, the third series has finally arrived. After the first two series were cruelly cancelled by the BBC and the then Tory government of Harold Macmillan. Which brings us to our first news story this week about a driver jailed for 9 years for smuggling people into Portsmouth in a spinach lorry. Fortunately, the immigrants stayed strong to the finish because they ate their spinach, like Popeye, the Sailor Man. Toot toot. The coronation of King Charles is rarely out of the news for very long. This week he revealed his new meat-free dish to replace coronation chicken, and it's French. Look, pal, the reason it's called coronation chicken is because it's for your bloody coronation. So, what are you going to make us eat? Coronation corn? Whilst Lionel Richie revealed being selected as performer at the upcoming coronation concert was a surprise and an honour. But if Charles and Camilla start singing along out of tune, just call the Coldstream Guards, Lionel, and arrest the buggers. For his upcoming coronation, King Charles keeps himself fit with a 12-minute exercise regime to a diet. Yes, he probably keeps fit chasing and killing squirrels, foxes and badgers on his vast estates, or smears himself with Nutella and let them chase him. Honorary member of the royal family, Jeremy Clarkson, claims schools are for smoking and shagging, not swatting, and says exam results only matter if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. The sad thing about this is that Jeremy suffers from a nasty syndrome that makes him say blokey gung-ho things that get him attention from other people with Clarksons. But just when you thought school was just about having sex, along comes the country's school prefect. Yes, Rishi Sunak is going to make maths compulsory for all pupils until the age of 18 to boost the economy. Which will be quite useful because it will enable you to count just how many sex partners you've had, or how much money the Tory National Front have stolen. Pictured in the Daily Star this week was a fisherman who's caught a giant goldfish-like carp weighing the same as a child. What a whopper! 3-second memory? Not a chance. This big boy remembers the Second World War. Whilst the Daily Mail showed Keir Starmer in a hospital standing over a hospital mannequin, saying the dummies are voting for me. Well, they certainly could be voting for you next month, Keir Starmer, but we've heard they are unable to get any photo ID. The Daily Star decided to enlighten us with the following from Emma Watson. She says she was pissed off, but learned a lot from witches in her coven. TW reminds Emma that Harry Potter was fiction. They didn't expect you to get into black magic. It's been a busy week for the SNP. Their treasurer, Colin Beattie, was arrested in party finances probe. Scotland have always done things a bit different. Most crooks nowadays send their dirty money to an offshore tax haven. By contrast, the Scots dig a hole in their back gardens. Which begs the question, where on earth do they get all these politicians from? For example, Ed Balls is studying for his maths A-level 40 years after leaving school. Balls was an economic advisor to the Treasury before becoming a Labour MP in 2005, but only had GCSE maths. So, as Clarkson said, if you can wriggle into any job, who needs bloody school? Have you noticed that we're being lectured about almost anything? In the metro, we was told, men, put the toilet seat down after yourself. Leaving it up is just sexist. To which we reply, does Charles have to put the seat on the throne down for Camilla? No, he doesn't. Suck it up, sweet cheeks. One of the most colourful events of the week was when snooker went loopy as a Just Stop Oil protester threw orange powder over a table at the World Championship. The match continued. Joe Perry finished the game by potting an orange into the side pocket, followed by an orange and 6 more oranges. The Telegraph allowed someone to speak out against Brexit this week. Delusional Brexiteers will die soon, said Ryanair chief. So, if you're a Brexiteer, don't all get aboard the same Ryanair flight that has a big arrow saying Brexiteers this way. The Guardian was unusually populous this week when it revealed a Spanish startup on mission to save planet's beer from the climate crisis. Yes, these Spaniards are certainly hip to the hops, which reminds us of the joke, what has only one leg and smells of beer? The answer is a hop. The Telegraph showed this week that Michael Gove does indeed like a quick puff. He's to get his own rooftop smoking hut after being heckled in the street. The hut also has a bar, a jukebox, and a pole for when he fancies a quick dance. The New European posed the question, who murdered the UK leg of the Orient Express? TW can reveal that Brexit the butler did it. If it's a human being, it's been shot in America. A black teenager who was shot by a homeowner is now at home and recovering, as his fundraiser surged past $3 million. Well, this proves what they say, every bullet has a silver lining. Pictured in the Mail this week was an astonishing music maestro born without arms, who plays the French horn with his toes and is set to make his debut at the BBC Proms this year, which means he will have to endure all the idiots jigging about at the front, waving their Union Jacks, without being able to give them 2 fingers. He is, however, insured in case he gets athlete's foot. Well, musical foot anyway. He revealed that he always wears earplugs in case he starts tapping his feet to the music. Over in America, we learned that Americans now spend more on legal weed than on chocolate. Sales of marijuana from dispensaries topped $30 billion in the last year compared to £18 billion on chocolate. This is the book Roald Dahl really wanted to write, Willy Wonka and the Cannabis Factory. The forelock-tugging Mirror told us this week that King Charles will make a sweet gesture to the Commonwealth while he is being anointed with holy oil. The sweet gesture apparently involves refusing to accept any carrier bags full of cash from any oil-rich oligarchs. It's the wrong kind of oil, but anyway. News story of the week was Dominic Raab, who the New European called a failure. Yes, bully for Raab, he's resigned. The New European rubs it in for the man who managed to rab everyone up the wrong way. Gina Miller claimed Dominic Raab called her a silly bitch and naive in a lift. Gina allowed herself to get trapped in a lift with Dominic Raab. Yes, Gina, that is very naive and silly. The Evening Standard said the Tories are sitting on a sewage time bomb that could blow next month. Yes, on May the 6th, the shit is really going to hit the coronation flan. Returning to the subject of the coronation, the Independent said a sex doll company has been forced to ban customers from making royal family requests. It is, however, believed that the King Charles sex doll is not one of the dolls requested. This week saw Kim Jong-un firing a missile from his golf course to send a message to the West that he could launch a nuke from anywhere. Not to be outdone, Donald Trump immediately retaliated from his Mar-a-Lago golf club. Both leaders are reported to have scored holes in one with their missiles. On a less serious note, Wales Online reported that Mecca Bingo have commissioned a golden dabber to mark the coronation. So, eyes down. Number 38, Wilson Kate. Number 37, Harry and Meghan. And Big Fat Zero, Prince Andrew. In the Telegraph, Samantha Cameron said, I have to remind David to steer clear of the Aldi middle aisle. The Aldi middle aisle? Is that where they keep all the truth drugs then, Samantha? This week, Michael Gove in the iNews compared the relationship between Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings to Jeeves and Wooster. There are moments, Dominic, when one asks oneself, do trousers matter? Asked Boris. The Metro News gave us a lovely picture of a rather tubby cat. Say hello to Patches, the cat who weighs as much as a 4-year-old. Yes, he's called Patches because he likes to wear cat food patches to keep his weight up. If you're looking for something new for your eBay side hustle, the Independent showed us some good coronation memorabilia to celebrate King Charles III. TW have issued the King Charles coronation carrier bag, stuffed full of fake £50 notes. Or how about the King Charles Monopoly game where he actually owns all the properties? In the Mirror, we saw a steam engine bizarrely crash through a home and into a living room, with significant damage. The homeowners apparently had steam coming out of their ears, their eyes, and their noses. Back over to Scotland, where a number of arrests had been made after protesters tried to stop the Scottish Grand National. TW's Quiz of the Week. Were more people arrested at the Scottish Grand National or the Scottish National Party? Aren't the royal family lovely? In the Sun, we saw a playful Prince Louis took a ride in a wheelbarrow with beaming Mum Kate as he celebrated his 5th birthday. Which reminds us that we used to have wheelbarrow races as kids. You used to go down on your hands and other children would grab your legs. But we didn't have yuppie mummies cart us around in the latest Rolls-Royce wheelbarrow from Fortnum and Mason's. Rather strangely, in Devon Live, we saw a dad adamant that encouraging son to egg houses is doing the right thing. When we were young, again, we used to play chicken. But what came first, the chicken or the egging? Finally, we end, what else, with the coronation. Queen Camilla's ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, will be at Westminster Abbey to watch Charles's coronation, despite Fergie not being invited to the occasion. However, for a number of reasons, Princess Diana will not be there. The main one being the car that was bringing her was involved in a crash. How this happened, because Prince Philip is no longer alive, we don't know. Well, this has been David Frost on That Was the Week That Was. So goodbye, good evening, and see you next week.
That was the week that was. It's over, let it go. 52 times a year. The week is done and over with before you know.